yourself to fit in. You get a big reaction, so popular.
Hello and welcome back to the Our Smiling Faces podcast. Mark's back this week.
Hi, did you miss us?
Flies back.
Really, that flies back.
Jeez, as soon as we sort of
Tory flies are back.
unreal, isn't it?
I was going to try and go a week without calling you a Tory there and I couldn't help you.
You didn't, you called the fly.
You're a Tory as well.
The Toriness is rubbing off on me. I went blue tonight.
Blue, hi, Tory blue. So
You've got a bit of
Mark's
Tory
back.
blue on your hat.
Wait to see Deka's shoes. Show them your shoe.
There's nothing wrong with my shoes.
Show them your shoe.
No, I'm not showing your shoe. There's nothing wrong with my shoe. Like
Tory shoes.
Deka's had the day just getting grief on you from everyone at work about your shoes.
pretty much.
Well, your lasses, aren't they?
Did Gareth say something about your shoes? He'll be laughing at this thing when he watches this.
Well, he didn't necessarily, but other people did.
Stevie Wonder would say something about your shoes, mate.
There's no
You'd hear them squeaking, wouldn't he?
Absolutely lovely.
Remind us of them shoes you were dancing around in on Saturday night.
Tap shoes, well,
Your
that's
tap
tap
shoes,
shoes.
right?
Did you see that video? Of
Yeah, I had to turn it off. I literally, I put it on. I was like, right.
I was blunted. Absolutely hammered.
That's what.
When I'm blunted,
That's what 16 hours of drinking does to you.
So
I've never seen anyone that happy after losing again. So well done.
yeah, no. Like I don't think the defeats get to us that now.
Well, it clearly didn't.
I was
Well,
pissed
it did.
off. I was pissed off
It
in
did,
the ground.
it did
I was
when
pissed
we're,
off. When we conceded that third and we had those absolute arseholes in front of us.
Oh, that pink shirt wanker.
Oh, we'll get onto them later. So Manu was the last game. Me and Mark and young Adam over there made the trip.
It's your last game.
It'll be my last game.
Last game, that's it. I'm never going back.
Be my last away game this season. I'm not doing any more. But to be
I thought we were
fair,
doing Huddersfield.
away end was absolutely fantastic, wasn't it?
That was good crack.
It was a great start to finish.
Except for one thing.
The concourse.
Oh, the fucking concourse was ridiculous, wasn't it?
You just can't get
The
anywhere.
small, it's like literally.
Like Newcastle concourse is bad.
That's behind that bar is
Manu's.
wider than the concourse.
So everyone's in there like sardines, aren't you? Trying to get past each other like this. Like penguins.
No. Okay, there was two bad things about it then.
Alright then.
The other one was shoes off if you love the tune.
Oh, fucking aye. We'll get on that one a little bit later as well. So,
Adam started that.
one day we'll get that fly. One day we'll get that
How does
fly.
it get away, man? I'm only quite good, you know.
So,
Well, perhaps you needed your chopsticks.
Mudu started.
Thank
Starting
Christ
lineup.
for that. I mean, we've only been saying it since
You signed.
2011.
And he, when I seen the formation, he played not where I was expecting him to play. He was on his
He's
own.
up top, wasn't he?
On his own, I was
He's
like,
up top,
oh.
wasn't he, top?
But really pleased he started though. It was class. Well, I've been sitting here for bloody weeks, but it feels like
Weeks and
months, to be
weeks,
honest
weeks
with
and
you.
weeks.
It just showed you like what we've seen in those glimpses of him, running the channels, getting in between players, making intelligent runs. We've seen all the hard work from him in that in flashes, but he actually, from the off, he was, creating chances just by being aware of what was around him, and he absolutely terrified their defence every time he got the ball.
We were talking about it as the match was going on, and he's the type of player where he doesn't have a position. He's just all over the place. Defenders must absolutely hate marking him because he's impossible. You look over and he's just gone. Like he could be the other side of the bloody pitch for you.
I think another thing, no one knows him in this league.
Yeah.
So like defenders didn't know anything about him whatsoever. I know we obviously know a bit more, but it always happens, isn't it, when there's teams come up and there's always that one player it just has this. I don't know. It seems to really terrorise defenders.
Like when Liverpool had Dirk
Well, that's
he was a
to be fair,
nightmare.
that's who I was just about to mention, because obviously, he was at Liverpool with Benitez and stuff like that, and he's that type of player that just ghosts into spaces. That was a bird came out there. Ghosts into like little spaces, like plays in between the defenders and stuff like that. Which,
he does, yeah.
As a defender, you hate that if a player's like.
That's probably what we should have been expecting from Perez from day one, isn't it?
Well, that's why. That's
what he should be doing.
That's why I think he's a good number 10. Mudo.
Yeah.
I think he'd.
That's what it said, wasn't
If you
it?
played him behind Rondon finally has a player that is willing to get in between the lines and is intelligent though. It is intelligence. It's not just graft, is it? Like he does graft. Don't get us wrong.
Yeah.
But you've got to be intelligent as well, and he
Definitely
definitely
got that football brain, hasn't he?
definitely.
Of what you need up there.
He doesn't seem like flustered or wavered by anything either. Like you're playing Old Trafford there away, his first start. He didn't give a shit, man.
Well, when he scored, he was
I
even
mean,
taking the piss to the cameras, wasn't it? Pulling up like the 2-0 and all that.
It was just he played brilliantly. But having said that, all of we did in that first. Well, that
first
10
60
minutes.
first 60 minutes.
Absolutely.
Like, first 10 minutes, like.
Oh.
It was just a blur, wasn't it?
We
really?
were like stood it. We scored the first. Was obviously gone mental. Absolutely mental. What was it? It must have been fifth minute.
Very early, wasn't it?
And Kennedy took his goal well.
I
Absolutely
think
unbelievable. He turns and
tied
hits
Young
it
in
in,
knots, didn't he?
and just sinks that in the corner. And obviously it went wild. We hadn't even calmed down. Then we scored the second, and I looked at him and I was like, "Is this actually happening?"
Well, my pants fell to the ground by themselves. Like, I couldn't believe
Pants
it.
off. It's like your pants just knew what was coming.
Couldn't believe it. I looked down and I was like,
At one point, did they pull themselves back up?
2-2. No, I agree.
Mine
Obviously,
were coming up before that.
the greatest start ever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you know, it's the first time that Man United's been 2-0 down in the
Since
first
the
10
Premier
minutes
League,
ever. I don't care what they're going through. That is amazing.
Yeah.
But going back to what I've said, and I know Mark sometimes agrees, but not always. That's what we are capable of, you know. We are capable of starting games like that and being on the front foot, and you know what I mean, putting it to the opposition.
It just seemed as if the first half even, the chains were off, weren't they? And we're just let go. Like as soon as you get a bit of confidence, look what happens.
For me, I think with Muto, he brought out the best in Shelby, because Shelby had a brilliant game, but he had an outlet. He had somebody to find with a pass and stuff like that. And
the best pass he did in the first half was that White Yedlin.
Yeah,
he played a
it
ball
was-
across Yedlin was just.
there was a load. I mean, again, it got to the point where him and Diarmi were just back to the best of them two in midfield. Diarmi breaking things up. I mean, Pogba, he never had a kick in that first half. I can't think of the young lad that they had playing in midfield, but he was just. Was it Mick?
Is that the one that got took off earlier?
He got took off for Matic. Not Matic, Mata. Sorry,
Mata.
Matic had already started, didn't he? Yeah, Mata came on for him after about probably 15-20 minutes, I think it was. But just
I personally
unbelievable,
thought,
wasn't
I
it?
thought we could have been even further ahead if we had been more intelligent going forward.
Well, we still have plenty of chances,
many
didn't
times we got in areas I thought, oh, we're going to score again here. But just picked the wrong. Perez had one where he cut inside and he had, I think, Mudo and Kennedy to his left, but tried to have a shot and it was tame as out.
Mudo had a header as well, didn't he?
Now, obviously, everyone was saying he should have scored, and maybe he should have, but I thought he did well to get where he got.
Was that one in the second?
No, the first half. At the same, by the corner and Lascelles, they just headed it, like helped it on, and Mudo was like a yard out.
I think we had another one in.
Diarmi
Diarmi had a header second.
That was.
Was to be fair, there was a few chances
the
that
first
that
half,
were,
honestly, man,
were
it was
hard.
just
Shelby had a good shot anyway. He bent one into the top
That's right,
corner.
yeah.
It was just one of them games.
Should have had a penalty.
First, well, we'll get on to that,
but yeah,
first
so,
half,
you know,
just everything was just clicked, which we just haven't.
Everyone was fantastic. Even Manquillo was decent.
I was alright. I thought.
He didn't have much to do, but when he had players run at him, he did quite well. He was quite calm on the ball.
Well, their lineup kind of almost played itself into our hands, because they played like a 4-3-3, which really allowed us to proper boss the midfield and have Kennedy and Richie just. Once the ball was there, it just went away because they had nobody out wide. They were playing like a narrow three in the middle, which meant we could really get at their fullbacks. And as I say, Ashley Young was just tormented for that first half. And both of our goals, he was the one that was marking the goal scorer, and he just both of them tied him in knots.
I thought it was Smalling for the second. I thought it was. But I could be wrong.
When we went 2-0 up.
No, it was definitely.
Was it Young?
When we went 2-0 up, I honestly thought we could have got another one straight after and another one. I thought the goals were just going to keep on coming, because Man U, they were shocking, weren't they? They were absolutely bottled that first half.
Yeah. But to be fair, if it wasn't for De Gea, we probably would have.
That save from Muto's header was huge, because that would have been 3-0.
What was the shot where it was going in the top corner? Was that Shelby's?
Shelby's, yeah.
That was a decent save as well, wasn't
well, the reason why it was very good is because he actually kind of, sounds silly, but dove past the ball almost. So it was his trailing hand that had
got
the
back, didn't he? Yeah. He quite often does that, doesn't he? Goes with the wrong hand.
Well, he had to go with that one because he had dove too far. His left, the bar was here.
I think it's because it actually came in so far. That probably caught him out. But
so you think of, you got, and I'd said last week that we've got an opportunity that they're going to be really down on confidence. They're not arse. They didn't even like the gaffer. They're not even bothered. But you think we haven't won a game, we haven't led in a game at all this season.
Yeah.
And then, but you can go and put it to Man United like that in their own building in the first half. Like it does prove that there is something there. There is something there. We have got something. You know what I mean? Like it
looked like a team from last season, didn't it?
I thought so. Yeah. I mean, Kennedy took his goal. So he was really
Very good
flourishing
finish,
in the
wasn't
first
it?
half.
Very
I thought
good
he was
finish.
begging people left, right, and centre, and he brought the ball down lovely sometimes. And then obviously his finish was just class. And I was like,
I think when you get an early goal like that, that gives you that confidence in just everything was coming off. Even we even spoke about during the game is that like decisions that we were getting from the referee where ordinarily all those decisions go against you and stuff like that, or there's fouls, free kicks, throw-ins and stuff like that. But the referee was giving them to us.
obviously I know you were there, like, and I obviously know how good our fans were because I've heard the reaction. What was their fans like when it was 2? Because I've seen a few people standing up.
It's
but
loud
can't
when
really
they
hear.
scored.
Yeah.
So the first 2 goals was loud. The third goal, it went really loud when they scored. But in between that, nothing.
The Liverpool
they're not going off it though,
hadn't made a sound.
When we were 2-0, I was saying when we were 2-0 up, we scored the second. I've seen loads of their fans like standing up.
The odd pocket of people, but
There
like
was odd people standing up and shouting and stuff like that.
Kind of
but-
made it look worse than that.
the thing is, Man U, it's, and before people take it the wrong way, it's a tourist club.
Oh, of course it is.
So like I've mentioned before, saying stuff about Liverpool, and I got loads of backlash of people saying, "Oh, like, well, I'm from Sweden and I support Newcastle." It's different because going to St James's Park, a majority are born and bred in the northeast. You go to Manchester, Liverpool, those sort of clubs, and it's the amount of nationalities. It's not a bad thing all the time, but the amount of nationalities and people that are just there for a day out is ridiculous.
Well, there was only really the opposite corner to us,
Yeah.
like the other side of where we were, that were trying to get some atmosphere going and stuff like that.
But then I find it really hard for us to criticise the atmosphere
Oh, it's the same to us
when
for us.
ours is
Absolutely.
shocking at times.
Yeah, the atmosphere is obviously going to be shit because they're going through a shit time.
Yeah.
Like for Man United standards and what them believe they should be, it's absolutely awful at the moment for them as well. So, you know, like, especially when they went 2-0 up with them, it felt like a minute.
Until they got back into the game, the most noise that they made was when they were cheering us for singing "You're Getting Sacked in the Morning."
Yeah, there's a few of them joined in.
There was like people
Yeah.
clapping and like singing along with it and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I don't think some of them want them to. But
Which
There was a fella wearing a Josie Out shirt. Man U shirt,
that
Josie
was
Out. I took a photo of him. I took a photo of him.
That, yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Full kit, Josie Out on the back of it.
Mental, man. Mental. But in regards to noise, it's very similar to any home crowd, really. If I'd have been us and say if it was...
To be fair, we were singing "This Is a Library" for quite a bit of the game.
Sorry, just
And they didn't really get going until the second goal.
well, it's fucking like us, isn't it?
And
We
then
don't
the
get going
third
until the
one
scoring,
is
yeah.
probably when the majority of the ground
It was loud.
joined in, and it was for like probably a couple of songs and for a couple of
Yeah.
minutes.
That just proves what them have become as well. You know what I mean? Like they're celebrating that goal.
But yeah,
It's the
again,
worst team in
our
the Premier
fans from start to finish,
Ridiculous.
even when we were 2-1 down, 2-2, 3-2, we were still singing.
But that's what we all know, isn't it? I've been to thousands of away games, and every single time I go away, you still sing. You know, you're there for.
Well, let's
you're there
face
for
it,
the
we
day,
didn't.
aren't You know what I mean?
You know,
You're not
before the
expecting
game,
Well, predictions
You
on the
did-
podcast last week.
I was.
I said 4-1 to
You said
Man U.
fewer guy.
You said
I think
2-1,
said
I think.
2-1, aye.
Chris said a draw.
Did he say a
I
draw?
said a draw, aye.
Then we done one on the way to the ground, and I changed my mind. I said, right, 2-2, because it'll be 2-2. It's this close to being 2-2.
But I think, like Ezzy had said that draw, but he said it could be one of those ones where either team nick it. And to be fair, he was probably along the same lines of what I would have said.
Well, I know I said
the game.
I know I said 2-1. I just didn't. I did feel we had an opportunity because how shit them are at the
It pissed
moment.
me off like a fly.
It's like we talked about. It was the best time to play them.
Of course it was, yeah.
But I mean, we're like I'd say, they'll be looking at it and thinking it's the best time to play us because
I thought
we're
that-
low on confidence and all that.
I
kind
thought
of
it
thing
was
as
the
well,
best
but-
time until the news came out that there was a strong chance he was getting sacked no matter what happened. And I thought, this has turned a bit this because now the players might think, but he's getting sacked anyway, we'll go out and play for the next manager.
Oh, I thought the opposite. I thought, God, they're
I thought it
really
would.
not
Yeah.
going to give a
Yeah,
shit
I
now
thought it would,
because I've seen them.
And to be
happen
fair,
before.
first half, that's what it looked like.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest, I'm still absolutely furious that we're through it away. Like, No matter how good I can sit and talk about my pants in the ground, because the first half was so good.
So the first half, obviously, we had that penalty appeal, right?
It was not an appeal.
We were sat
We
at the
were
other
there
side
at
of
the
the ground,
time.
right? The other side of the ground. So we're in the corner, like
Opposite ends.
Yeah, so
Yeah, opposite end, yeah.
So we're looking at it, and we didn't realise it was a handball from where we're sat.
But what we did know
we knew
was it a corner.
Everyone saw that was a corner,
Yep.
and like when he went to go kick us, what the fuck's
couldn't
happening?
believe
Well, that's what we were like, up in arms
Yeah.
about, was the fact that
No one in that ground knew it was
he'd done that.
a handball from our side
Oh no,
until Shilver's reaction.
yeah. Obviously, on the telly, it's sort of completely different. So
Yeah.
On the television,
I was like, that's a penalty.
Crazy.
Straight away,
Almost
how-
Where is the referee standing?
Yeah, I don't.
He's not even
Well, he wasn't
looking.
even looking. That's
he wasn't
the
looking,
whole
was
So
thing.
like the free kick's there over his left shoulder, and he's looking in the box, like at the players in the box. And
To be fair, if he's not looking at it, then he does know, and surely he should be telling them to take the free kick again.
I mean, for me, it is probably.
Or what's the linesman doing as well?
Every single referee is looking in the box in that moment. It's like a corner. They're looking at is someone getting pulled or. So
he's got to position
Yeah, but
himself better, doesn't he?
surely, if the free kick is being taken on the left hand side of the box as we're looking at the goal, surely he should go and position himself on the right side of the box so he can still see the ball coming in and watch what's happening in the box.
Probably, yeah.
He has been
That's where he
criticised
should be
by
standing.
ex-referees.
Well, every single referee, every single pundit has said Newcastle should have a penalty.
So he'd been screwed
But
over.
and not to play devil's advocate here, but them should have as well. Munoz was handball. He caught it. The fuck on. He caught it. Literally caught it in the first half. It
I've
hit.
never seen that one. Like,
I haven't seen it.
So this is where I get
I
annoyed.
chose what I wanted to watch.
See, that's what I get annoyed with. And I listen.
well, that one mustn't have been on match of the day or anything like that either.
I don't want my name to get a penalty. Of course I
Yeah,
don't.
yeah.
But when it happened, I was like, oh well, that's evened it up. Because it was an absolute Stonewall penalty to them.
The most frustrating
Like,
thing
honestly,
is, though,
like,
at 2-0 up, if you get that penalty and you score
No,
that penalty, then the game's gone nigh on, hasn't it?
But we sometimes look at it a bit of rose tinted, a little bit. And I agree with you completely. If we had went, well, and again, I didn't know, because I know what we're like. But that's
We'll have to
what we
score the
are.
fucker first.
Like, and exactly, we will have to score it. Yes, we'll go 3-0 up. But with Newcastle, nothing surprises us. We might have draw 3-3 or getting beat 4-3. Nothing surprises, but anyway. The Muno one, there was a corner came in and he kind of chested it, or like on his stomach, and then it literally caught the ball.
Just dropped into him.
He literally caught the ball, and I was like, whoa, getting away with
Was he
that.
close to the ball when the ball hit him?
Was
Was he
not
close to the player?
Oh, there's no one around him. It was just him.
Was that in the second half?
No, first.
First half.
Oh, was it?
It was only about 5 minutes after the one that we should have had.
Oh, was it?
And that's when because I put it on because I was texting my mates and the.
Well, that would have been down in our.
No,
I
it was
won't-
first half would have been.
No, he's right. It was,
Aye,
that's
would
why I
have
can't
been.
believe because everyone went handball and even I went, oh shit, but didn't get given. And then when Rashford missed that header, which how on earth he missed that?
God,
And then-
aye.
That was bad. That's
Do you know
bad.
when you sort of think it's going to be our day? I really felt it's going to be our day. But
Lukaku as well. He missed a header.
So,
as well,
so first half, you go into half time thinking, this is unbelievable.
unbelievable.
But then you look back at games and think, we've came out with a different team in the second half so many times this season. And I don't think it happened I think we were just completely outplayed by what we knew during half time there.
I've seen so many people, so many comments and stuff like this about, Rafa, what has he said at half time? Why have they gone and started playing defensively and all that? And for me, it was none of that. Man United just came out and absolutely battered us.
Well, I thought they didn't score until what 67
60
minutes.
odd.
Right?
But even in the lead up to that, they
Nah,
were getting that one, getting that one.
I honestly didn't feel that worried, but I felt worried when they put four up front. Nearly, they put four up front.
Well, when
And
They went with three at the
we
back,
just
didn't they?
couldn't.
Pogba dropped into like into defensive
Centre
midfield.
defence, played three at the back,
So he was
didn't
there, and I was thinking, what the why is Pogba playing there? That was a master stroke, that like.
Yeah, it was. Well,
Because he just picked that ball up and
He
moved
played like
with
a
it.
sweeper, didn't he?
But they brought Fellaini on, which he's a nightmare.
He's a
man.
game changer, isn't
He's
he?
a game changer. And they had a Martial on one side, then you had Fellaini, you had Sanchez, Lukaku. They literally just had four up front.
Yeah.
And I thought, I said we're not going to be.
So the free kick that they scored, that Matt scored, you would have seen it better, and you haven't seen back on the
Well,
telly.
what did I say to you?
We said when we got the
that
free
ball
kick,
was
we
there?
went, it'll be the same as
I
last
said
time.
if Matt is going to put this into the right hand side here.
Was it a good free kick, or was it bad positioning from like similar to the last free kick that were conceded?
Probably, yeah.
He took up a much more central position in his goal than he did for the last one that was slated him for. But
it's the same scenario with these free kicks. You build a wall.
we know it's coming from So looking at that, we know what's going to happen. So surely
every
he's got
single
to, like,
player, every single fan.
think I'm going to have to be ready here to take a step.
But then we can't say that about any free kick that's ever scored.
It's always the same. They're the most boring thing in football, really, because it's the same goal every fucking time. It's this. You put the wall up, Newcastle. It happens every time.
I think the wall could have done better because there was only really Shelby that jumped, but he didn't.
Did it go in the bottom corner?
No, it went
Was it top?
Top left. But when you see the wall didn't really get up and try and attack it. Nobody was charging it down or anything like that. Again, Dubravka didn't really get over. He was going for it, but
Yeah. I just always think you're just giving them the target every single time.
When they got that goal, the first goal, that's when I started to think, shit, because now we'll just sit back on purpose and probably think, we need to hold on to this.
I do agree. Of course, I agree. But I've got to be very honest. When we were going in at half time, I thought, well, they're going to score. There is no way we're going to keep Man United off for 90 minutes. They were always going to score at some point in the game. And you always knew that we were just going to get deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, obviously, some people I've spoken to have says, oh, why did you go so defensive and blah, blah. Fuck's sake, man. What are you meant to do then? You're 2-1 up with 20 minutes to go. Oh, it's going to attack then. Like, how? You've got to try and shut up shop. You've got to try.
Was so good in the first 45 and even probably the first 15-20 minutes of the second half.
I wasn't worried.
Every single player just looked like they were absolutely blown out the arse. And the substitutions which came on
again though, but you
didn't really help with.
They're saying Muto obviously was blown out his arse, probably because he hasn't been getting any game time in the season. So that, I'm not blaming anyone there. But, of course he's going to be blown up his arse. The poor lad's been running. He never stopped running. Yeah. But he's only played one game. So he's obviously.
So who was the first sub? Was that Muto the first one off?
Yeah, Atsu, wasn't it?
Atsu was for,
so Atsu came on.
Kennedy was injured.
Yeah, Kennedy.
Oh, Kennedy went off.
Again, people are complaining about the substitutions. Kennedy went off because he was injured.
Yeah.
Oh, well, why did he bring Atsu on? He brought him on because Kennedy was injured.
Now I'm going to be very honest, right? It was my mum's birthday, right? So I was out the house for the last goal. I had to leave, and I don't know. My only question was about substitutions is I knew that I'd put 4 up front. Mm-hmm. Did we didn't make any tactical changes at the back, did we, while Shaw on the bench? Is that correct?
No, Shaw wasn't on the bench.
Was he not?
He would have been.
I thought I'm sure he was.
Shaw would have been on the bench, sure.
Atsu came on for Kennedy, Hoslu came on for
Murphy came on.
Muto.
Because I didn't. That's what I
Murphy
didn't
came
like.
on for Richie.
That's what I didn't like. And I know this is. I'm not trying to nitpick, but I didn't like how to me the subs were just man for man. They weren't tactical changes. They were just play the same way.
See, I would disagree. I would say Hoslu came on for Muto, obviously because Muto was knackered.
He came to hold the ball
but he came on to hold the ball up, so that we had an outlet to undo some of that pressure.
You've got to have one, and I'm not denying that. I agree with that.
You're talking about the two wingers?
Yeah, I honestly just felt that surely bring another centre half on to try and go 5 at the back because they've got 4
but then
by that stage.
But that's what then people slate Rafa as well. Why are you going defensive, bringing on a defender?
But they're going to slate.
He brings a striker on. He brings a winger on. Oh, why are you bringing?
The thing is,
that
at that time, you can probably look
at
back and think was so much under pressure. Probably defensive sub probably would have been better.
Do you think Murphy was going to change that game, or Atsu was going to bring
the substitutions?
To be fair, Murphy had a few chances to get out and away, but I mean we'd said that down our left hand side there was just acres and acres of space, wasn't it?
Murphy
that
kept
lane
on
that
tucking inside.
In the middle.
He just kept on wandering into the middle of the pitch, and every time it was just a ball over that hand side. Every single time.
It's the first time where I've.
And poor Yelin's
really
left out hang on the drive. Martial and Luke Shaw come like.
Well, it was Manquillo because it was over.
Manquillo,
so it was Manquillo and Murphy, but Murphy just kept drifting in the middle, and
he was tracking back. But by the time he was getting there, the ball was already coming in the box.
And that's where the third goal came from. Was from that.
But then you look at Atsu comes on and you think he's a type of player just to run it into the wings and just waste time with it.
Well, he did. He ran into the wings and
shocking
fell over, gave the ball away. And
it was so bad. He had a bad game at the last home game, and he had an even worse one when he came on as a sub there. He was absolutely dire. Like, I'm even struggling to think he had a decent season last season in spells, but I think he's probably even struggled in the Championship with those performances.
Shite,
he was that bad.
Absolute shite.
He was getting some pelters from the fans, wasn't he? Because every time he got the ball, he
just
lost it.
Just give it away.
Every single time.
Shite.
I don't know, it was just it's one of those classics, isn't it? A game of two halves. You couldn't have, summed it up any better. Like first half, we were absolutely brilliant, bossed the game. Second half, their quality.
What I want to say for the much credit
us.
I'm giving for Manu for getting back into the game, and winning it in the end. At no point should Sanchez be scoring a header past us.
See, I mean, if I look at their 3 goals, you've got to look at the wall and Dubravka for the free kick. Get up and try and block the free kick. Dubravka's got to do better for me and get over. The second goal, Dubravka's beaten at his near post.
So it was a good
It was a good finish. It was a good
free kick. The first one was good, you know. He got it up and down really well.
Like Pogba, to be fair, made their second and third goals with his runs.
Fucks us off even more.
And it's and he'd literally done nothing.
Hate him.
Nothing all game until.
If you get the chance, you're just a shit mode army, wasn't he? 60 minutes.
And even it was funny because you could even see Mo like looking at him and smiling and laughing like to it, thinking, fucking hell, he's just won the World Cup and I'm absolutely mullering him here, and even the whole ground's are green.
What I did like was Dubravka's celebrations for the first 2 goals. He was going mental, wasn't he?
Mental.
He's going absolutely wild. But I say Sanchez should not be getting ahead
the
against us.
The defence. I mean, there was 3 players unmarked waiting to head that one in. They were all standing between Lascelles. You had Richie was a little bit off it in Yedlin. 3 players cannot be standing on the edge of the 6-yard box unmarked.
I'm just trying to find the team. I just want to find that out.
To be fair, when you look at it, they brought Sanchez on. Sanchez cost more than our entire team put together.
I know, but we weren't saying that when we beat them 1-0 at home. And he was on then. We weren't saying that then when he fucking missed an open goal, did we? You can bang that drum all night if you want, but
I think that is the.
He shouldn't be scoring
that is the difference.
He shouldn't be scoring a header.
No, he should. That's what I'm saying. The defence should have done better. You cannot allow 3 players to be standing there between you. You're Lascelles there. I'm Yedlin. There's 3 people in the middle of it. Yeah.
You probably just slid off the camera there. People filming where you've gone.
I agree completely. I agree completely. It's a shambles. It's an absolute shambles.
But it is the quality difference is massive.
Of course it is.
Absolutely massive. And
it wasn't the first half.
That's.
You're 2-0 after 10 minutes, man. Where's your money talk there?
But that's where you then, as the game goes on for longer and longer, the changes that you can make and stuff like that.
Do you think the players are in a similar position where the fans are? As in, when that first goal went in, my New's first goal, I went, shit. Like, at that point, I thought, fuck, we're going to lose this. Do you reckon the players think exactly the same? Do you think they just buckle and think, oh, shit?
Well, Shaw and Clark were on the bench, sorry. Shaw and Clark. So for me personally, we were up against it big time. One of them has to come on, you've got to go 5 at the back. Have to, man. Have to. You've got to go 3 centre-halves and then the other 2 tuck in as well. And I know you may be inviting more, but how much more could you invite? It was absolutely...
But then we've got the joy of having hindsight, haven't we? Like, we could look at back, put 5 at the back, then concede still, and they would be thinking, fuck's sake, why have we done that?
Well, maybe. Didn't get as
or it could have been the amount, the 4 or 5 times when Atsu did get the ball on the break.
Wasted.
He didn't just fucking run straight into somebody or run the ball out of play. He actually did what he was meant to do and get forward and create something else. Because we had chances to steal it in that second half on the limited chances on the break. But
there was a couple of times we were on the break and Manu, all their players were up top.
Well, it would have been because Man United are always gettable at home. I've watched them so many times, and they get so gung ho, man. They're just all bomb forward, and you can't get them on the break. Yeah. Hence, the first half proves that. But we're in every time we went forward, nearly. And I do agree. Of course, hindsight's a great thing, but I just feel that when it's 2-2, or I don't know, like you have to try and hold on to that point. And I just felt that the substitutions were like man for man. Like,
how long did it take those to score 3 goals? It couldn't have been long.
24 minutes.
So it was.
Shambles. Think how much
there was a gap between the first 2 and then the third, wasn't there? I mean, even because at 2-2 we were.
We're still inviting the pressure non-stop.
You will,
but you will be by that. The third.
You just think you think because we'd got that far, you think we will hold out here because we didn't deserve to lose that game. There's no way did we deserve to lose that game.
I think looking at the positives though, and I think we've led a game for the first time, right? We've scored 2 goals away from home.
Mutu got his debut.
So I think there's loads
Kennedy
of positives.
was back to his best.
100%.
Loads of positives to take from that.
Yes, it was a bitter pill to swallow at the end of it. I mean, the Man United fans, they were going on like they just bloody won the league, man.
Well, that's what I mean.
When
it just shows
it's
like
just
how far
they've
fallen. They've fallen so much, man. having a wank over beating the worst team in the Premier League. Sorry, not the worst.
And I mean, like, even outside the ground, they would like, they were going around like Billy Big Bollocks. I was going to
It's
have a
just
stern
awful.
word with some of them.
Stern word.
It's awful, honestly.
I don't want to incriminate myself.
I've seen them on Twitter like, they were thinking they were reborn, man. Sanchez, this is it. This is going to be your start. Yeah, man. You've scored against us. Get out. Yeah. Everyone does.
Well, that's it.
You know what I mean?
We're like,
Don't worry about
we're
it.
even saying we're saying that ourselves. You know, what I'm saying we lose every week. You're now special.
You're nothing special.
Exactly. So
the thing is, there's two fellas in front of us, and they're the biggest knobhead. One looked like he had just waxed straight out of the 60s.
Is that a pink shirt one?
Aye, he's. Oh no, the other one.
Oh, the other one,
skinny
the
one.
one.
Skinny one.
Oh, him.
He looked like
Aye.
him off road trip.
Aye. Oh no, there was three. Then there was the pink. There was the
Aye.
pink shirt
Looked
one.
like him.
Pink shirt, him, and then the one at the end.
Fat lad in the pink
fat one,
shirt.
aye.
I like the pink shirts, isn't it?
There's loads of pink shirts. But he was walking past like 2-0 down. His head's like this. Couldn't see we're third. He's walking past, strutting past like this, and there's another one just walking past like this with his finger up like this. They're fucking
They were
awesome.
Man United fans. Sorry, when you say in front of you, I thought you meant.
No.
No, because
It's like there's a road just in front of Man U fans.
I can't handle that shit. Like,
They were absolutely bellends, weren't they?
fuck's sake.
Stewards had to keep coming over them, telling them to sit down and that.
Really?
Because they were just turning around. They weren't even watching the game at some point.
To be fair, they were just
Oh,
like when they were getting beaten, that they would just like turn around and get staring.
Yeah, but they were joining in.
And that.
Those were the two that were joining in with the getting sacked in the morning chance. 3-2 up. King. Mourinho was king.
Josie and the prawn sandwich.
Yeah.
Loving it, aye. Pricks.
But there was people like that, like across to the right. There was a few of them like that. That's a good thing when you're that close to the home fans and stuff like that. The ones in front when they were turning around and they're scoring, but it was great because we were just laughing at them and basically even when we were getting beat because it's like fucking.
It's not new here.
We used to it.
Now new here at all.
We don't expect to come to Old Trafford and win. So
to be honest, as I said, I didn't see the last goal due to I was out for a meal. But when I was on Twitter constantly. My mum was going, "It's my birthday," and I was like, Newcastle's playing," and I was like sliding down. And when it popped up goal, and honestly, the feeling I got was, when we got beat 4-3 off Liverpool, I was only young then.
Pure sinking feeling.
That feeling of like, it was just awful. So obviously, I know God knows what I was like for you because you were there. But,
You've seen the photos?
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing those photos, aren't they? Half time, full time.
Well, even like
Unbelievable,
because the shots of when we've scored and we're jumping around and smiling and laughing, and then the half time we're like waving and all that, and then
it's just such a cruel
I didn't even
game, innit, man?
didn't even know the one at the end had been taken or anything like that. It just must have just summed it up. But it literally is. It was the ultimate high to the low. I mean, there's been games where.
But those two
I felt
goals,
worse than that.
those two goals were amazing, weren't they?
That first 10,
that feeling from the second goal was unbelievable.
It's weird though, because you just you have goals like that and you just go mental and celebrate it. But that was you were a bit. I was shell shocked by it. That would actually scored 2 goals.
I looked over at you at Wisconsin. My head's fucking bouncing. I had a splitting headache as he fucked me. I
Well, I
couldn't
think
take
it was
anymore.
was it the second one where we weren't even. I think it was the second one where we weren't even sure who scored.
Okay,
It was just.
Jesus.
I had a canny drink on the way down, to be fair.
It was an amazing day that day. Who scored the second goal?
No, but at the time when you
Because
at the ground
they
and
don't announce who scored.
Well, you should know who it is though. It's not fucking Perez.
Him and Perez look
no,
exactly
him and
the same,
Perez
though.
when you
Just
get down the
like
opposite
exactly
end of
the
the pitch.
Right, did you see
It
the
was
first
difficult.
touch? Did you see the turn and the shot?
Yeah.
It wasn't Perez.
No, I know. I couldn't believe the ball Perez put through for freaking for the first goal for Kennedy.
Bain could have done that, man. That was to give him so much time on the ball. That's when they were gettable, though, weren't they?
We saw quite a few people that were listeners and watchers of the podcast.
Yeah.
There was a few people coming
Before,
up and having a
after,
chat.
during. Yeah, it was a good crack.
A couple in the game. There was a lad in front in the front row.
Yeah.
Do you see him? The
was
pictures
Doug.
of Ashley. Ashley was there again.
On the
Did you,
front.
that's just totally reminded of something.
What noise
Did
was
you see
that?
Ashley's phone?
That's his whole phone, that one.
Did you see his phone?
Ashley.
He's got some sort of
Not your thing.
1990s
He hasn't.
Motorola flip phone. It's
So it was
Aerial out.
as soon as I seen it, I did think of it. And it was he's ringing there to say order a table for Wednesday night again. It was really funny. I thought it was class.
I couldn't because you'd expect him to have a decent phone, and he
Just a
pulls up
normal
this
phone.
You see his jeans, man.
Oh no,
Maybe you just love Snake.
I downloaded it from my iPhone,
He didn't.
I did, yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's the good thing. Even when we're winning, he was still getting sick. Like
He was, aye.
Well, he's always canny, doesn't he? It doesn't matter what happens now.
And to be fair, there was quite a few Man United fans were applauding for that and joining in with that as well.
Well, them now, well, it's like... You know,
Well, that's it. I think
as much as it is a different scale of shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ours is the shit.
Ours was as bad as that.
I know.
Jesus
He
Christ.
spent 90
The thing
million
is,
on it.
you look at the coverage from BT Sport, and you've got Jake Humphrey there, and he was putting videos of the Newcastle fans celebrating the goals, when you in the background you can hear Scholes and Ferdinand slating Man U and all that.
Well, Ferdinand did a whole piece, didn't he, about how bad it was and how bad Jose was and all that.
It was just all about Man U being so bad.
Of course it was.
The credit which Newcastle didn't get for that first half, like that was shocking. That like,
But it's been like that since I've ever watched football. Where if a little team's beating a big one, it's because the big ones are shit. It's nothing to do with how well the little ones have played. It's always like that. Man.
Look at Wolves are the greatest thing since sliced bread this season, aren't they?
Who?
Wolves.
Well, they're winning every game, like, so it helps. But hey, now you look at Fulham going absolutely humped there against Arsenal. I didn't read anywhere that Fulham shite. I didn't read it out.
What did Mitrovic
We
do
love
this
fucking get
weekend?
beat 5-1.
What did Mitrovic do this weekend?
Didn't get sent off. Probably like he does every game.
you fucking answered that one, mate.
He got booked though.
Oh,
got a 5 in his ratings.
oh. Fucking
He's
us
fucking
nearly
scored
week.
5 goals though.
Don't care, just play forward.
So the Man U game. Is there anything
I'm
else?
sure you
which we need
retweeted
to focus?
Sissoko's fucking shot that went out against Barca. Sure, it was you. And I was going to say, you didn't play for it?
No, I don't.
You remember that everyone's tweeting it though. People are
seen
weird,
that.
aren't they? You know?
That's exactly what we're seeing the other week.
People really fuck me off. Because how can you... No, but how can you do that? Eh? Gale is banging them in again, you know. 2
Oh,
again,
whoa,
again.
whoa, whoa.
That reminds us. I put
championship.
on.
Oh, it's the
I put on.
championship,
Gale
One player
scores
of the month,
again.
It's not been a real league, is it?
Did you see? Look at the replies.
No, I didn't know.
Oh, talking amongst yourselves. I read some of these replies. Fuck me. It's like I just took it, walked into someone's house and just shit on the
Well, I
floor.
bet it'll be the people that were slating him saying that he's not good enough to be playing in the Premier League last season or this season anyway.
But
Oh,
how can you have an
people-
attitude of like, oh, it's only the championship? Hang on a second. When we beat Norwich 4-3 on that night when we were 3-1 down, people were literally like doing somersaults out that ground. And you imagine if you had to win the championship, what are you doing? It's not a championship, man. We won
See,
the league.
that was
we won
the
league and
that was the
everyone loving
opposite
it.
feeling to what we had
Right,
on
yeah,
Saturday.
4 on Saturday, right? I put on Gale scores again, right? That was it, right? 19 replies, right? I'll just read you a handful of them. Championship, it's his level. He will score. It's a championship. And he will always score in the championship. Exactly, Gale is class above at championship and shite in the Premier League. He'll be good next season for us in the championship. In the bloody championship. Championship.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it?
So, who gives a fuck?
He doesn't play for
He
Wales.
was shit in the Premier League. Just on and on and on. Just bore off. What was one of them? Bore off. What I say? He scored a goal.
I know.
He's still our player.
We weren't saying that when we beat Palace last year away from home. He fucking scored 2.
Saying that last season, I was saying that. I don't.
So you were the worst one for saying he's not good enough for the Premier League.
I'm not saying I want him back. I'm just saying that he's scoring goals and like it's good. It's good for us.
To be
like,
fair, he only wanted that. He only went there because Rafa wanted Rondon. Simple as that, innit? He didn't want to. He didn't want to send. He didn't want to sell him really. He had to go because it was part of the deal. Bring Rondon. Rondon wouldn't have came if Gale didn't go in the opposite direction.
Is Rondon even here yet?
It's in the treatment room.
I bet he's playing for Venezuela this weekend. Bet you. Hell on if there is like.
Well, there should be hell on, but there'll not be.
Dummett isn't. Dummett's pulled out the Wales squad. Injured, obviously.
Pretend Welsh. Anything else that we need to add to this one?
You just hope it gives. We've got a bit of a break now, haven't we? With the international coming up. You just hope that the focus on what they're capable of doing from that first half performance. Just think, yes, we lost it in the end, but there is a massive gulf in quality between them two sides at the end of the day, and you've got to hold your head up and be proud of what you did and what you achieved in that first hour.
So everyone was telling me after the Leicester game, and I was there, so I agree, how low the players looked.
Yeah.
They looked absolutely shell-shocked.
But did you see Shelby's interview after the game as well?
I did, yes.
That worried me, because he did look very...
He's bound to be.
Very,
After
very
the
low.
Man U game?
Yeah.
I don't want him to come on smiling guys. Sorry, I'm off for a week now.
No,
You know
but
what I mean?
Yo, was
for
the blue?
instance, Richie's interview was he was, and I guess that's probably him. He was more full of passion and we'll put this right, we'll be in it together and all that kind of thing. And you know, Shelby was the same kind of messages, but just his body language and the way he was delivering it was a bit more.
Oh, yeah, man.
Do you not just think that's Shelby?
We've got to come. Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's tripping, man. He's just finished. Like, he's obviously going to be low. You know what I mean? But the Leicester game, the look as low as I've ever seen them. It was a terrible performance. Players were like lying on the floor, man.
But when the final whistle went to a man, every single one of them collapsed on the floor.
So did you think a week later you'd be 2-0 up at half time at Man United? Absolutely.
No, I'm saying on Saturday. Saturday night.
Well, there will be. Of course they're going to be. They were like that against Leicester, man. And there was 2 out. They weren't even in the game. But what I'm saying is that the bounce back within a week, sorry. Yeah. You're 2-0 up at Man United away.
That's what I'm saying. So Rafa's got that.
This doesn't make or break your season, does it, fuck? It's hard to take and it is shit. But they'll come back from this. They'll come back from it, man. And they've got a week off. And some of the players, honestly...
That's not 2.
Well, even 2 weeks. They'll be absolutely fine. They're not going to be looking back at this at half time the next game and we're going to beat off my 3-2.
It's a 2 weekend. When's our next game?
Brighton at home, 20th or something, isn't it?
We've got a run of fixtures, though, that are coming where now business needs to pick up. We've got... look at that 10 fixtures. I mean, some people are saying it's 10 winnable games. You need to settle doing, like... You know what I mean?
2 weeks off?
2 weeks off. And then you're coming back to Brighton at home. We'll beat them. I'm telling you, we'll beat them. Well, 100%
Dragon.
Yeah, absolutely 100%.
I don't think I'm going to that game, so we probably will.
That's what I'm saying. That's why when Rafa needs to focus on the positives that came, and he will because he's a good manager from that respect. He
said it though, didn't he? He says,
after the match and stuff like that.
We're very good. We just need to manage situations better, which he says every time we get beat.
But you can pinpoint what went wrong for those. Those goals.
For me personally, I wouldn't even talk about any negative. I would just look at all the positives in that game personally. That's what I would do. I'd say, listen, like, we'll come here with a hope and a prayer, and you rinse them for nearly 50 minutes of football. Like, and
it gives you hope, doesn't it?
Well, it did for me. It honestly did for me because the dross we've seen this season. To be fair, Cardiff game, fucking hell, Leicester game, and then you play like that. You're like, I think it's a massive.
I'd happily go and relive that 45 minutes again. This was just wasn't
even if you knew what was coming afterwards.
Well, no, maybe it's not. What I'm saying, like, but at that time, that 45 minutes was just pure joy, wasn't it?
It was great.
Because it's 45 minutes, you're not expecting at all. You know what I mean, you're not expecting even
just
to get
got off to the
That's why my head was doing.
Yeah.
So
that would deal with it. 20
Drink on the
way. Cider on the way, and then the 6 pints in Staley Bridge.
Right, we'll wrap this one up. Okay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
That's a bit more positive than normal, isn't it?
It was high.
That's what happens when we get a
really
decent performance.
We couldn't really slate anyone.
Even now it's positive.
Just wait off. We'll get beat up Brighton.
We could slate Atsu and Murphy probably more than we did.
No, we're nice. We're nice this week. Right?
I think I even called Perez something nasty a couple of times. Not as much as I normally do.
Right. Thank you, everyone. Love you.